الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما اللهم أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين أما بعد الحمد لله Alhamdulillah, praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings that He has bestowed upon us, and also due to His perfect and complete attributes. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with praise which are deserving to Him, for Him. And praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well for the opportunity to attain or learn the knowledge which is related to the Sunnah or the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the knowledge which brings people to guidance and clarity. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. You will live your life with clarity, full obviously awareness, not in zalam or darkness, whereby you are just in al-Qadillah, you are just blindly around, feeling here, feeling there, kurasa macam ni, kurasa macam tu. Okay? This is how a Muslim should be. He should be clear. He should not be feeling things or making decisions and choices according to what he feels. But however, I would like to explain something with regards to this tonight, inshallah. And this is strongly related to what we went through in the last couple of hadith in which we went through in our previous lesson. Okay, namely hadith number 153, 154, and 155. Okay, and in these couple of hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we mentioned this last week, he corrected the perception and the way people thought about things. Okay, and we mentioned that this is what they answered, okay, or what they understood. It isn't something that is wrong, but it is something that is generally understood by the people around them, or generally by everybody. But deeper knowledge or deeper understanding towards something, it will bring you to a higher level of awareness, and therefore certain kind of righteousness, kesalihan. Okay? And this is actually very important. It is understanding not only the content of the hadith, but also this fact that many people have maybe you would say a one-dimensional or specific understanding towards things, in which these things might have deeper meanings to them. And the deeper meanings will bring the person to be able to strengthen his faith or be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in whatever affair that we are mentioning. So for example, over here the affair of wealth, the affair of people having miscarriages, for example, or the affair of the person who is strong, which Prophet ﷺ corrected all their understandings with regards to all of these things. Okay. So what I want to mention actually is that now I'd like to focus on some things. Again, this is based on my limited understanding. It's not based on my limited understanding, my limited observation. It's not based on any kind of research or anything. Okay, but it could apply to also people in general. Okay, so what I want to talk about today, or what I want to discuss about this, some of the understandings that the Malay people have. And why do I focus on the Malay people? Because the Muslim community, the majority of them are from the Malay community. Okay? And these understandings, these kind of this approach that we have towards things, and the way we see things and the way we understand things, sometimes wrong, okay, but is generally accepted and understood by many people. Okay, so this is something that maybe if I were to discuss this today, it would be that you all go back home, okay, and basically reach out, okay, and correct all these misunderstandings or understandings that may be apparent in our society. Okay, now like I said, it may be something that is from the Malay community specifically, and I'm not trying to be targeting a specific race or anything. No. And like I said, because the Malay community is the majority in the Muslim community, okay, this is basically who we most of the time meet. Sometimes it may not be just specific to them, it may be something that everybody practices, but it could be that I only notice from these people, okay? Because these are the people who we usually meet. Okay, so one of the things in which is very apparent in our society is this sikap or approach whereby when they face things, even they are faced with, I wouldn't say issues, but anything. It could be anything, it could be work, it could be career, it could be a specific affair that they want to involve themselves in, and it could be especially religion as well. They have this approach whereby, tak apa lah Ustaz, ni pun boleh. Okay? So sometimes in certain matters, the way we see things is that, ada yang lebih baik, but yang bawah pun boleh buat. Okay? Yang rendah, yang biasa-biasa ni pun boleh. Okay? And most of us have this kind of approach. Okay? And this stems out of the fact that we do not, or we fail to understand the concept of ihsan. Whereby the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the Hadith, Inna Allah kataba al-ihsan fi kulli shay. Al-ihsan is written or like made and set in everything. In your work, at your home, in the masjid, okay? When you travel, when you stay, when you reside in your own country, for example, when you eat, when you drink, everything, there's ihsan in everything. Okay? Inna Allah kataba al-ihsan fi kulli shay. The point where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that ihsan is even supposed to be done when you are taking a life, which is approaching. Basically, Al-Adab is approaching, and you will be slaughtering animals, and even in slaughtering there is ihsan. There is adab in slaughtering the animal. Just don't do this slaughter, but you have to be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to mention the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to bring the lamb in a specific way whereby you do not hurt them, for example, and you need to ensure that your knife is sharp and many other things as well. فَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ وَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقَتْلَ. Now, even when you are at war or you are killing another person at war, when it requires you to kill, for example, you need to make it quick and straight. And you do not cause suffering in your action. So the example of Prophet ﷺ over here is basically trying to tell us that even in taking lives, whereby the lives do not matter anymore. It's not that they do not matter, it matters, but what it means is that when you take the life, it's not good. So it doesn't really matter, right? Okay? But even so, Islam teaches us to have ihsan in all these things. So what about things which are living, or things which are always ongoing, around us? Okay? Now, I would like to, I don't want to bring examples in normal things like career, or it could be that when you want to, maybe open up a restaurant or things like this. Okay? I want to focus on religion because that is what I'm exposed to. Okay? Because it could be that I talk about all the other things, but I may be wrong. Okay? But the examples that I'm going to talk about over here, they are examples which I usually witness. Okay? So for example, when we talk about sunnah, for example, right? The understanding of our community, it could be because of, in the past, the way people were educated, etc. Okay? So this is a misconception that they have. Okay? When the word sunnah is being used, okay, they think that it's something that is a choice, whereby you boleh pilih ustaz nak buat atau tak nak buat. Okay? Now, I would like to explain that there is a difference in the definition of scholars when they use the word sunnah. Okay, this is something in the Arabic language. Sometimes a similar word is used, but it refers to different things depending on the context. Okay? Now, the sunnah that is referred to in these kinds of expressions or statements that people make is actually the sunnah that is being used, or the word sunnah that is being used by scholars of fiqh or scholars of usul. Okay? It's a more technical term. It's not a term which is encompassing. It's a technical term that they use to define things. Okay? And usually they don't use the word sunnah. Sometimes it may be, okay? But most of the time they use the word majhul, for example. Okay? But in our society we don't know all these words. Okay? And they will refer to things which are, they will say, things in which you do, you will get rewarded. If you don't do, you won't be punished. Okay? Now when the normal person or Malay person, and it could be, when I'm talking about Malays, I'm not talking about only Singaporeans, maybe it could be in the other countries as well, such as Malaysia, etc. Okay? So the way they see it is like, okay, if I don't choose to do it, it's my choice. If you choose to do it, alhamdulillah. Okay? Now, when the scholars of fiqh discuss this is not what they mean. They are not trying to give you a choice. When they explain this, they are trying to let us understand that, for example, if you see someone praying 2 rak'ahs before Maghrib, okay, let's say for example 2 rak'ahs before Maghrib, the Prophet ﷺ mentions that whoever wants, he can pray 2 rak'ahs between the 2 azan and iqamah. Okay? And as we know, some masjid we don't have. Let's take an example like this. Now we don't have this. Okay? Now if you see someone doing that, first of all, when he does it, what does he get? He gets reward. He gets rewarded. So can you scold him? Can you scold him when he does it? You cannot scold him. Okay, so this is in this context, for example. Okay, so if you see anybody doing it, you cannot get angry. Okay, even though it might be that some masjid don't do, some masjid do, for example, but if there are people doing, you cannot scold them because you know that it is technically it is correct. Okay, and it is rewarded. Now, on the opposite, for example, if let's say for example somebody doesn't do it, you come to a masjid and they don't do, for example, then you get angry and say, for example, kenapa masjid ni tak buat? Okay, you cannot do that as well. Because it's something that is rewarded if you do it, and if you don't do it, there is no punishment. And this is one of the main purposes for it. Okay, so that when you enter into society, you don't make judgments which are too hasty. Now, on the other hand, if the masjid does not, or if a person does not pray Salat al-Maghrib, what will you do? What must you do? Dia do Salat Maghrib. Can you just make it up? It's okay, you walk away. You can't do that. Why? Because it is wajib. Okay? So, now these terms, maybe are not, like I said, technical terms used by the scholars of fiqh to let us understand the effects of these ahkam. Okay? That when a person does not do a wajib, you must do something about it. When a person does not do sunnah, there's a different approach. Okay? And when you understand these things, you don't go around telling people, for example, hey, no, dia tak buat benda macam ni. Okay? And like other things, for example, okay, you want to do, you can do padahal, okay, you cannot make such judgments. Okay? I give you an example. For example, when we go, usually when people go for Umrah and Hajj, it's a form of ibadah, right? Some people may think, for example, okay, when you go for ibadah, you must focus on your ibadah, you can't do anything else. Okay? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the means of talking about Al-Hajj ashhurun ma'lumat, faman farada fihinna al-hajj fala rafatha wala fusuqa wala jidala fil hajj, wa ma taf'alu min khairin ya'lamuhu Allah, wa tazawwadu fa inna khayra zadi taqwa wattaqun ya ulil albab. He mentions about all these ahkam and what you should keep away from, la rafath wala fusuq wala jidal, when you are approaching hajj, when you are performing hajj, for example. Whatever that you do from things which are good, Allah knows, which means that if you do maximally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you abundantly. For example, if you do a bit, also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. After he mentions all of this, he mentions about taqwa, and then after that he says, La junaha alaykum an tabtahu fadlan min rabbikum. Laysa alaykum junahun an tabtahu fadlan min rabbikum. There is no blame upon you for you to seek the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fadlan min rabbikum. Okay? And this refers to businesses basically. Okay? Rezeki. Okay, and therefore, in the tafsir, they will mention that for those who want to do business, who want to sell and want to gain some profit, there is no blame upon them to do this even during the season of Hajj, whereby it is the season of Ibadah. The same goes for Umrah as well. So there is no blame in shopping, there is no blame in buying things, selling things. There is no blame in it. Okay? But of course, you need to be careful from letting it basically distract you from your objectives. Okay? So understanding where everything is placed is very, very important. And this is what we gain from the previous hadith as well. Okay? Where things are actually placed, how things are truly are in their nature. Okay? So I mentioned earlier on, one of the things which are very prominent in our society, it's not about the understanding of sunnah, it's about the understanding that tak apa kita buat yang mudah je, yang ini pun boleh je. Okay? Now this is a very dangerous approach and a very dangerous mindset. Why? Because sometimes there are some opinions which are actually weak. Okay? When we discuss about faith, when we discuss about the religion, okay, most of us understand already that there are differences of opinions, there are this opinion, there are that opinion, in the madhab of Imam Malik, Shafi'i, there are certain scholars who say this, certain scholars who say that. Okay? Now, and sometimes the opinions are spread to the point whereby it is accepted among the society. Okay? So one of the examples that I face, for example, is like when a person goes for Umrah or Hajj, for example, when he makes tahallul. What is tahallul? Tahallul is basically when you end the ibadah, and before you end the ibadah, you need to make sure that you shave your head or cut it off, basically, shorten your hair, before you are basically able to do all the things which are prohibited from you during your ihram. Okay? And one of the understandings of the community is that, okay, 3 helai rambut dah boleh. Three hair, three strands of hair, you cut off, it's okay, it's fine. Now I give you an example. You don't need to discuss this in terms of religion. If a person goes to the barber shop, and he cuts off a little bit of his hair here, a little bit of his hair there, but he keeps his fringe, for example. He keeps his copy, he keeps his fringe, he keeps his cloth. If he goes out of the barber shop, he meets his family or he meets his friend, what will the response be? Huh? I thought you cut your hair. What do you do? What do you cut actually, right? People will ask this sort of question. Because why? What they see is that it's not short. Right? It's not short, it's still wrong, although you had done something about it. Now on the other hand, if a person goes into shop and he does like a GI, for example, right? Goes out of the shop, what will the person say? No, what will the person say? Going to NS. Why? Because they know that it's short already. It's short, you're going to cut your hair. You already cut off your hair. So the same goes to the concept of this tahallul. Yes, there is an opinion which says 3 strands of hair, for example. There is. But it doesn't really mean that it is a strong opinion. It doesn't really mean that it is quite accurate, for example. Now this example that I give you is not to focus on this example, but to let you understand that based on this example you can understand many things as well. Sometimes when you hear an opinion in a certain matter, in a certain issue, it may be present, or ada pendapat, yes, but it may not be a strong opinion, it may be a weak opinion, and all these factors must be taken into consideration. So all of these comes from the fact where we have this kind of approach that tak apalah, kita buat yang ni pun okay, yang tu pun okay. Now when you treat everything like this, the religion becomes, you will not be serious with your religion. And that is when you will see people, for example, they will start to decide on their own, make choices on their own in terms of their religion, and they do not really seek and search and ask questions. And it's not wrong for you to ask questions even in things that you know, so that you can verify and you can know more about the things that you really know. But not to the point whereby you already know that sengaja dan lain tu pun tak boleh. That is also prohibited. And sometimes it's also encouraged to ask when you know that there is benefit for all the other people around you, such as what has been done by Johari alayhi salam with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the detrimental effects, and I'm talking about religion, it could be other things as well. It could be kind of business, whereby you say, for example, tak apa, kita buat macam ni pun boleh, kita buat macam ni pun boleh. Now what happens? You will lose your customers. You will not be like the other people. It could be that the Chinese are like that, I'm not sure. Whereby they will take their things seriously, take their business seriously. And of course, because maybe they are not, they don't have any things to fulfill. They don't need to salat, they don't need to come back to the family, they can just have cats, for example. Maybe there's a difference, but the good thing is that they are serious in whatever that they do. Now if you don't want to be serious in your dunya, it doesn't really matter, because the dunya will fade away. But your religion, if you don't want to be serious in your religion, this will cause a huge problem for you. Because why? Everybody will end up in the akhirah, and this is what you will be presenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's important to understand this and to correct our approach and our mentality, so that we are able to, I didn't press this, so that we are able to be serious in our faith and in our religion. Now when we start to be serious in our religion, when we start to be serious in our faith, it will not become just merely about ahkam anymore. It will not just about, ni apa ulama dia cakap, ni apa yang Allah change. It's not just about that anymore. It will lead you to being able to clean your soul from the acts of worship which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained. From the ahkam that you have learned, you will understand what effects will it bring to you. Because you want to do the best, you want to do what is best for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as long as you are still not serious, you won't be able to tap onto what will bring you the most benefit. And therefore you won't gain so much from your acts of obedience. Now this is only in terms of approach and mentality. What about when you are having ghaflah, for example? Bila iman dah turun, you have so many factors which will make you lag in terms of your religion. And therefore don't make not being serious in your religion one of the factors. Because this is something very simple. As long as you are serious, that's it, inshallah. It will maximize your ability to gain benefit from your religion and your faith. You understand? So this is what we also understand from over here from the sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Hadith number 153, 154 and 155. There are generally understandings of the things that people understand, but they misunderstand the true nature of these things. And the reality is because of their the way they see the akhirah, the way they see the dunya. If it is corrected, therefore they will be able to see things a little bit more differently. Such as, for example, we take the last hadith about the strong person. People think that the strongest person is the one who is able to, other people cannot take down. Okay? The same goes when you understand it like this. When you are angry as well, your ego will go up. Okay? And you will think that, if I give up, or if I tolak answer, for example, or I look away, for example, it will show weakness. Okay? This is not a time for sitting down, but the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, whosoever is standing up, فَلْيَجْلِسِ if he gets angry. فَلْيَضْطَجِعْ if he is sitting, he goes to a lying position if he gets angry. But an angry person who does not understand how this works, okay, and what truly is a person who is truly strong, a person who is able to withstand his anger, he won't do this. He will say, this is not a time for sitting. This is a time for me to box his face, for example, and for me to go and argue with him, and to talk to him, and to and to teach him. Okay, this is what many people are like this. Okay? And the reason is because they don't understand the true nature of things. Okay? And this is what I want to emphasize before we move on to the next hadith or next chapter. Understanding the true nature of things, okay, will let you reach a certain level of righteousness which normal people wouldn't be able to reach. No matter how much majalis al-ilm or how much sittings or gatherings they come. Okay? If they can come, they can learn, they can seek knowledge, but if they don't truly understand what they have learned, okay, they won't be able to achieve what they are supposed to achieve. But if they truly understand, for example, okay, and they deeply understand what they are supposed to understand, they will be able to practice patience, for example. They are able to utilize their wealth efficiently, for example. Okay, they will be able to seek reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when mishaps happen to them. Okay, wallahu a'lam. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Babun husnul milka. Okay, husnul milka or husnul have milka. Anybody has something different? Mulka? I think there's mulka and milka. Okay? But what I have over here is milka. Okay? So it's one of the versions. Both of them are correct. حدثنا حفص بن عمر قال حدثنا عمر بن الفضل قال حدثنا نعيم بن يزيد قال حدثنا علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لما ثقل قال يا علي ائتني بطبق أكتب فيه ما لا تضل أمتي بعدي فخشيت أن يسبقني فقلت إني لا أحفظ من ذراعي الصحيفة وكان رأسه بين ذراعي وعضدي فجعل يوصي بالصلاة والزكاة وما ملكت أيمانكم وقال كذلك حتى فاضت نفسه وأمره بشهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله من شهد بهما حرم على النار. من شهد بهما حرم على النار. Okay. So in this hadith or under this chapter on being a good master, now this is dealing with slaves. Okay? So yes, of course today we don't have slaves, okay? But there are benefits to be understood, okay? From understanding or learning how we should be treating slaves. Okay? And generally, how we should do it is that we should not have any harshness, we should not be beating them up, for example, but we should treat them with mercy. Okay? And we should not be and humanity basically. There's an ounce of or basically humanity when we are dealing with them. In treating them like humans rather than treating them like not like slaves, but basically like nothing. Okay? Like you can do anything towards them. You are harsh. You don't treat them as though they are human beings. Now, so in this hadith narrated by Ali bin Abi Talib, it says here salawatullahi alayhi. Now, salawatullahi alayhi is not a correct expression to be said with regards to a companion or companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the correct one is actually radiyallahu anhu or anha or anhum or anhuma, for example, which is may Allah be pleased with them. And usually when you see something like this, salawatullahi alayhi, for example, it would be a mistake from the publisher, from the nusakh, from the publisher. And this is what has been mentioned by many scholars, including, for example, Ibn Kathir in his tafsir, Surah Al-Ahzab, the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima, whereby he mentions about this, that you can see these mistakes, but it's only suitable or it's only befitting for the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So all these mistakes that you see from the publishers in these sorts of prints and everything, he cannot override what has been established by the ai*imah and the scholars. Okay? So, and this is why it is important to study under the hands of a teacher, of a scholar, okay? Because sometimes in books there might be all these kinds of mistakes. Okay? But when you understand concepts and foundation foundational things from teachers, from scholars. It will never override whatever that is done as or whatever mistake that you find in books. Okay, because there might be many mistakes in books. It can come from many factors. So radiyallahu anhu anna Nabiy sallallahu alaihi wasallam lamma thabul. Lamma thabula means that when he was almost in his deathbed, or he was in his deathbed basically. Yeah? No, he was close. Not during his ajal, but he was close. Basically, he was sick, the sickness of, the kind of sickness where people have when they are close to their death. Okay? So this is the meaning of lamma thabula. So he said, Ya Ali, itini bitabak. Oh Ali, bring me a tabak. I'm not sure what the meaning of tabak is, but tabak, in the explanation, it could refer to like shoulder, animal shoulder. Okay, so bone actually, whereby they could write things, because usually the shoulder blade is very wide. Okay? So in the past they didn't have any paper, right? So they would write things on these sorts of things. Okay? So it could be that tabak would mean this, aktubu fihi ma la tadillu ummati ba'di. Okay? That I will write on it what my nation would not be, write things for my people after which they will not go astray, okay? If they were to stick on these things. فَخَشِيتُ أَيْنْ يَسْبُقَنِي. فَخَشِيتُ أَيْنْ يَسْبُقَني. Is that? Let me check on this. Okay, but the meaning yasbiqani means that Ali radiallahu anhu feared that Prophet ﷺ would die before he could do what Prophet ﷺ requested from him. Okay? So he did not refuse this request from Prophet ﷺ, but he only refused because of the reason that he would fear that if he went to take the thing, okay, if he want to take or he want to fulfill the request, the Prophet ﷺ would pass away and he would not. These were precious moments before the Prophet ﷺ's death. Okay? So he only refused because of this reason. Yes. Bifani or yasbukani in my version. Fakultu, so I said inni la ahfadu min dhira'i as-sahifa. Okay. Now in the commentary of my translated version, okay, as regards with the expression inni la ahfadu min dhira'i as-sahifa, scholar Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah said, based on this commentary, I didn't check. Okay. So the expression is confusing, ambiguous. Perhaps the word sahifa is an interpolation. The correct thing is inni ahfad fa'a'i. Okay, and this is because it is contained in the Musnad Imam. So this is the correct statement. Inni ahfadu wa'a'i. And this is supported by the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nadarallahu mar'an sami'a minna hadithan fahfizahu wa wa'ahu wa addahu. Wa'ahu means he tried to completely understand it properly. Okay. So this is the correct statement. Ahfadu wa'a'i, because ahfad and a'i is similar. Okay, to try to understand properly. You can only remember properly if you understand something truly. Okay, so this is the meaning of a'i. Okay, and the saying of Imam Al-Albani here is translated, so I'm not sure the original saying, but the hukum of this expression in the words of Ahl al-Hadith is called muttariba. Okay, so sometimes in a hadith, okay, there are statements which we call them muttariba. Muttariba means they are not apa namanya? Correct? No, they are not in line. Basically, they are like here and there. Muttariba is like, okay, kesana kesini, tak straight, tak proper. Okay, so I can't remember the word, but something like that. Okay, so muttariba usually is like, hey, it could mean this, it could mean that, but it cannot make sense if you bring them all together. Okay, and sometimes these statements or versions which are muttariba may come from different narrations as well, and they are all muttariba. They cannot be combined, they cannot be understood together, and therefore sometimes all the hadith are rejected as well. Okay, so this could be what is meant over here by confusing, ambiguous. Okay, it could mean muttariba. Okay, so فَجَعَلَ يُوصِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ. So the Prophet ﷺ وَكَانَ رَأْسُهُ بَيْنَ ذِرَاعِي وَعَضُدِي. And his head was between my forearm and upper arm. Adudi, is that upper arm? Yeah, I think so, upper arm, adudi. But this is contradictory to the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, that she said the Prophet ﷺ was on the thighs, right? No, sorry, not on the thighs, but baina nahri, her neck, around the area of the neck. So that's why this is one of the reasons why this hadith is weak. But also the main reason is because of Nu'aym bin Yazid. He narrates this from Ali bin Abi Talib, but he's somebody who's majhul, who's unknown. Nobody knows him. So this hadith is actually weak, okay? But the point that Imam Al-Bukhari is trying to make is very clear, okay? Which is basically what we see after that. فَجَعَلَ يُوصِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. So the Prophet ﷺ after that made wasiyah, okay? That I should take care of my prayer, should take care of the prayer, take care of zakat, take care of مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, okay? Of what the right hands hold, which are slaves. And this is actually in line with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran in Surah An-Nisa. وَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَالْجَارِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْجَارِ الْجُنُبِ وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنبِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُم. At the end of the verse, وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُم. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, take care, not commit shirk, and then He commanded to many things that you need to take care of, including ihsan to your parents, including your neighbors, and then at the end of the verse, or close to the end of the verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also includes the slaves as well. You must take care of the slaves. You cannot just do whatever that you wish. It's barang yang tak boleh. Okay? وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. Okay? Now the addition of az-zakah as well is an addition which is munkara, which is rejected. And the reason for this is because there are other hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ made this wasiyah actually before his death, okay? But in the other hadith it's mentioned as-salah wa ma malakat aymanukum. And we will see this hadith inshallah in the upcoming hadith. Actually some of the versions will do this. As-salah wa ma malakat aymanukum. There's no zakah. Okay? So it indicates the importance of taking care of slaves, to the point that the Prophet ﷺ before his death he would advise this. But like I said, this version of this narration is weak. It is not accepted, but the point is being made over here. Okay? And also other hadith will support this point. Okay? But the hadith itself is rejected. Okay? وَقَالَ كَذَلِكَ حَتَّى فَاضَتْ نَفْسُهُ. Okay? And he said all of this until he died. Okay? So like I said, this is directly contradictory to the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha. وَأَمَرَهُ بِشَهَادَةِ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَأَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ مَنْ شَهِدَ بِهِمَا حُرِّمَ عَلَى النَّارِ. And this is also mentioned in other hadith which are Sahih. Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. There are a number of hadith, numerous hadith which mentions this fact, which is that a person, if he properly establishes the shahada, okay, he will be hurrima means he will be forbidden from the hellfire. Yes, okay? He cannot enter the hellfire. Okay? And the scholars, of course, they explain this. What it means by hurrima ala nar, it could be ala ta'bid, which means forever, and it could also mean that he is not. It could be that he is forbidden from the hellfire from the start, from entering the hellfire from the start, or he is forbidden from entering the hellfire forever. Okay, and therefore the meaning of hurrima or prohibition or forbidden over here is muqayyad, restricted to the fact that whether he is sinful or whether he is not sinful. If he is sinful, therefore he will be abiding in the hellfire, but he will not be abiding eternally. Okay, and therefore this is the meaning of hurrima ala nar, which means that he cannot be abiding eternally in the hellfire. Okay, wallahu ta'ala alam. Is it isya already? Okay, let's move on to the next hadith. حدثنا محمد بن الثابت قال حدثنا إسرائيل عن الأعمش عن أبي وائل عن عبد الله عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أجيبوا الداعي أجيبوا الداعي ولا تردوا الهدية ولا تضربوا المسلمين. So in this hadith, Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, or he narrated from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so Abdullah is Abdullah bin Mas'ud, or the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ajibu ad-da'i, he accept or basically reply or come when you are invited to something. Okay? And basically what this means is that it is obligatory, it's wajib. Because it's a command from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you must accept invitation. When you are invited to something, you must accept, you must come. Okay? Now, definitely this refers to walimatul urs, which is weddings. Wedding invitations, agreed by the scholars that it is wajib for you to accept the invitation and wajib for you to come. As for other invitations besides walima, there is a difference of opinion. Okay? And some scholars mention that it is mustahab. It is not wajib. Some scholars mention that it is mustahab, it is recommended. For example, somebody invites you to their house, something like that, it is just recommended. But as for wedding, it is wajib. Okay? However, this obligation is also dependent on the fact of whether you have an order, okay, which is an excuse. So if someone has an excuse, maybe he's sick or something, then the obligation is removed from him. Or the order or the excuse can come from the side of the people who plan out the wedding. Okay? So some weddings, for example, may involve things which are munkar, okay? Things which are not halal in terms of the religion of Islam. Okay? Such as music, for example, such as, for example, pre-mixing and too much pre-mixing between men and women, for example, and things like this. If the wedding has something like this, then there is an excuse for you to not come. Rather, the scholars say it is better for you not to come and not to attend actually. Okay? Now, however, if it is a close relative, and this was something that was asked during my time when I was studying, if it is a relative, what you can do, some of the options, okay, would be, if it's not a close relative or it's basically you're not directly involved, okay, you could come to just give some greetings and treat as though you have eaten. Okay, so if they say, oh, dah makan, okay, but dah makan tadi pagi, right, for example, okay, you just greet them, you just come and just give salam and just congratulate them, okay, and all these are all recommended in the religion of Islam. Now, what if you are involved directly? Okay, this was also asked by a person to me. If you are involved directly, okay, you cannot just say, for example, let's say, for example, you are the father of the groom or the bride, for example, okay, and then there are certain things that you disagree on. Okay, what you can do, okay, treat your presence as a means for you to incur munkar, but you have to make it a point. What is incur munkar means you have to, your presence must be a reason for some of the things which are supposed to happen to not happen. Things which are wrong, things which are bad, which are supposed to happen. Okay, your presence will ensure that they will not happen. Okay, and only then you will have a hujjah in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Understand? Okay, so this is the solution and this is the way to be out. Okay, and I explain this because some of us face this but we do not know what to do. Okay, and these are some solutions which are present, which are there. You cannot just, sometimes you cannot just, oh tak apa, aku percaya yang ni tak boleh, and then just walk away. Especially if you are directly involved, this is something that is very difficult. Okay, and it will cause something that is much greater in terms of harm, such as silaturahim, such as harm to the groom and the bride, and many more. Okay, so you need to bear weigh the consequences and the effects of your actions. Okay. As for the rest, وَلَا تَبْدُلُ الْهَدِيَّةَ وَلَا تَضْرِبُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Inshallah, we will explain in this lesson, as I believe it's already time for Isha. Correct? Okay. والله تعالى أعلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين.